The other shit with you guys. Just saying. I hear you.
45.
Coming up on Studio G, President Obama leads the nation in Veterans Day observances.
Republican candidates gather for another debate. This time they talked economic policy.
The holidays are fast approaching. We will show you how one local business kicked off the season. Studio G starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Studio G. I'm Kyle Root.
And I'm Jordan Lorenzo. Just a few days ago, a new urban clothing store had a soft opening in downtown Las Vegas. I sat down with the owner and talked to him about how he plans to add to Las Vegas's growing culture.
I saw open lane because I seen other retailers here that were in the streetwear or lifestyle apparel realm, and I noticed that they really didn't have some things that I possess. You can open up a store, you can have product, but there's other stores that open up and have product, but there's something that's going to differentiate me from them, and that's my expertise and again me being from the culture. This is the beginning of it. This is retail. It's a culture lab, and there's a lot of people that will be coming in from out of town that their first stop will be this because it's now here. It's kind of like you build it, they'll come. People have been hearing about it. People have been waiting for this. There's other retailers, and hats off to them because they got the same traction. This is an institution for culture. Like, you're gonna get that from here. 18B is the district, the arts district that we're located in. And 18B stands for 18 blocks. And even the location, man, like, it was perfect. I wouldn't have opened this place if this wasn't available. If this wasn't available, I wouldn't have had a shot because this is exactly what I needed.
He also told me that Institution 18B will particularly cater to youth and will be what the city needs as well. But for Will, it's not all about the consumer or the culture, but about the risk young business owners take.
My security in this is just me working harder to make sure I can get my idea and dreams out along with my partner and then whoever else is involved. I think the people that are going to be working with me are going to be the strongest force of making this happen too, because you can't do this on your own.
For Studio G, I'm Jordan Lorenzo. Even though the official opening is in February, the store is open for business today.
The Lansing Institute and the UNLV Mental and Behavioral Health Coalition invite you to attend their integrated healthcare workshop with keynote speaker Jeff Capanico, from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's Center for Integrated Health Solutions. The event takes place Friday, November 1st through 3rd from 8 a.m. to noon at the International Gaming Institute. To attend, RSVP by 702-895-0089. The event is free.
Cheer on your Runnin' Rebels as they take on Cal Poly in the opening game of the Maui Gym Invitational.
Runnin' Rebel basketball.
Reinhardt front court to Jones. Jones a three. It's good. Bryce DeJean Jones.
It's Friday, November 13th with tip-off at 7 p.m. For more information, visit unlvrebels.com. And remember, student tickets are always free. To purchase tickets online, visit unovtickets.com. It should be pretty cool to see the new Running Rebel season.
Yeah, I mean, they're always exciting. They're the big team in town. We don't really have a professional team. So, you know, they are a professional team, and they always seem to be pretty good. So.
Yeah, they bring the heat most of the time. I've seen them, and then when we even covered the Running Rebels event, they were all over doing dunks and different things. So it's a pretty exciting season.
Yeah, we're pretty talented. We're definitely going to be a team to watch this year. So we got to get on out there and get our free student tickets, and we should do it.
I agree.
When we return, we have news from around the nation.
Studio G will return. Stay tuned.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
You don't get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Switching gears, the latest Republican debate took place this past Tuesday evening. Candidates talked mostly about economic policies. Studio G's Tracy Phillips tells us more.
Fox Business Network agreed to give the candidates equal time, but that didn't stop some of them from fighting over it.
Let me say a couple things here. First of all, you should let Jeb speak. We have grown. No, it's unfair. In the state of Ohio.
Governor Bush. Thank you, Donald, for allowing me to speak at the debate. That's really nice of you. Really appreciate that. What a generous man you are.
Moderators didn't press Ben Carson on his past.
Thank you for not asking me what I said in the 10th grade. I appreciate that.
I'll just forget that follow-up there.
You can't seriously guarantee that there won't be another financial crisis, can you? If you could, if you were serious about it. There'll never be another financial crisis? No, I can't say that, but I can say if you created higher capital requirements, that's the solution to this.
For the most part, political attacks didn't get personal in Milwaukee Tuesday night. The clash is instead focusing on policy.
I know that Rand is a committed isolationist. I'm not. I believe the world is a stronger and a better place when the United States is the strongest military power in the world.
Marco, how is it conservative? How is it conservative to add $1 trillion expenditure for the federal government that you're not paying for?
Some candidates pushed for a flat tax and talked about simplifying the tax code.
There are more words in the IRS code than there are in the Bible, and not a one of them is as good.
And, of course, balancing the budget.
We need to go to zero-based budgeting so we know where every dollar is being spent. We can challenge any dollar, cut any dollar, move any dollar.
Many rejected calls to raise the minimum wage. For Studio G, I'm Tracy Phillips.
The next Republican debate will be December 15th right here in Las Vegas. And the next Democratic debate will take place in New Hampshire on December 19th. Now here's Brian Ortega in the newsroom with more national headlines. Brian?
Thank you, Kyle. Ben Carson continued to push back against media scrutiny of his claims about his youth. Media outlets have not been able to confirm the details described in Carson's 1990 autobiography. Carson scrutinized the media on their failed efforts to uncover the truth.
The kind of investigations that were done, talking to the wrong people, not going to like Wilson Junior High School where the lock incident occurred, but talking to other people and saying, see, we can't, it's just stupid. And if our media is no better at investigating than that, it's sick. You're asking me about something that occurred 50 years ago. And you expect me to have the details on that? Forget about it, it's not gonna happen.
Carson's failure to provide proof from the majority of the claims in his autobiography has the media and other presidential candidates asking, may this be the end of his campaign?
I got to tell you, a couple of days of being asked about something that you put in your books, I got to tell you, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy. He should answer the questions forthrightly and directly. If he does, the American people will accept it. If he doesn't, then he's got a problem.
I'm going to let him run his campaign, respond however he chooses to whatever is going on his side of the aisle. I'm going to stay focused on what I'm doing and what I stand for and what I fight for and make my case to the American people.
Carson was one of 8 White House hopefuls on the main stage at the GOP presidential debate on Tuesday, where expectedly he was faced with more questions concerning the accuracy of his autobiography. Observed Veterans Day yesterday. A salute to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for the nation. President Barack Obama laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery. The president was taking part in a National Veterans Day observance ceremony yesterday to honor all those who have served in the United States Armed Forces.
What has always made America great, what has always made us exceptional, are the patriots who, generation after generation, dedicate themselves to building a nation that is stronger, freer, a little more perfect. On this day and every day, we thank you. God bless our veterans and your families, and God bless the United States of America.
Student journalists at the University of Missouri were trying to cover the recent racial incidents that have plagued that university. That was until they were confronted by an unlikely member of the school's faculty.
Back off! Back off! Don't push me!
A confrontation between students and a student photographer at the University of Missouri. Until the photographer shooting the video walks up to this woman.
You need to get out.
I actually don't.
All right. Hey, who wants to help me get this reporter out of here? I need some muscle over here.
That woman calling for muscle is Assistant Professor Melissa Click at the university's communications school. She pushes the student photographer, covers his lens, and mocks him.
This is public property.
Yeah, I know, that's a really good one. I'm a communication faculty, and I really get that argument. But you need to go.
Directing students to form a human chain to block the journalists from doing their job.
Don't let those reporters in. If you've got it, oh, he's a good one. Good one.
Professor Click wasn't in her office, but this flyer expresses her opinion about traditional media. The communication school says it can't comment about personnel, but says intimidation is never an acceptable form of communication. I'm Tracy Phillips for Studio G News.
Professor Click now says she is sorry after seeing the viral YouTube video. The dean of the school's journalism department confirmed Click's resignation from the journalism school, but remains as an assistant professor in the communications department. It's primary season. This is when each party decides to pick a representative to be their figurehead of their party. The question is, how many students are actually informed or actually care about it? This year's primaries have been more sensational than others because of the characters involved. There are the 2 familiar Republican candidates and a known woman on the Democratic side. But the question remains, do you think, or do students know of other candidates?
Not any more than what I'm exposed to in a classroom or just on a quick social media glance.
Republican? Sanders?
On Republican, I know, what is it, Jeb Bush.
Oh wait, I switched my answer. Okay, Sanders is on Democratic. Republican, Trump.
We named some of the main frontrunners. It may be alarming to see that there's a complete lack of knowledge on who could become the next president of the United States. We asked Professor Ted Jelen to tell us why students may not care.
basically political involvement tends to increase as people get older, and some of those basic life decisions get settled. Spouses, careers, children, stuff like that. That's a lot to worry about.
The lack of students who are informed could be troubling. Major media outlets need to find a better way of attracting the younger generation. According to the Roper Center, nearly 20% of the voters in 2012 were students. Case in point, whoever has the student support will have a huge advantage. Well, that's all for your national news today for November 12th. Back to Jordan and Kyle in the studio.
Thank you, Brian. Coming up on Studio G, the Hollywood Report.
And an update on DraftKings, so we'll be right back.
As far as Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
It's your boy Miles Lowe.
It's your girl Scribe Cash.
My name's Fabian Stefan. Perpetual Player One.
And I'm your host, Brandy the Prince Madison.
My name is Haley Rogers.
From the Miles Lowe Midweek Show.
The Scribe Cash radio show.
You can listen to Pixel Jam. Press start to play.
And this is the Takeover.
Rock on Rebel.
On KUNV HD2. From the RebelHD2.com.
The Walking Dead is about to get its biggest bad guy yet. It's back to daddy duties for The Rock, and our first peek into Finding Dory. Here's the Hollywood Report.
From playing a troubled superhero in Watchmen, actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan will now be playing the infamous villain Negan in AMC's hit series The Walking Dead. Morgan is expected to make his grand debut at the end of 6th season, possibly in the finale, and return in season 7. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and longtime girlfriend just announced they're expecting their first child. The Rock posted this picture showing off mom-to-be's baby bump on his Instagram page with the words, "It's a baby girl."
My family! They're out there somewhere. I have to find them.
The first trailer to the sequel of Finding Nemo is finally here. Ellen DeGeneres, who played the forgetful character Dory, released the clip on her website. Finding Dory dives into theaters next June. For this week's Hollywood Report, I'm Tracy Phillips for Studio G News.
Hollywood has been busy. Tune in for next week for another update.
We have an update on a story from about a month ago when the New York State Attorney's Office sent a subpoena to daily fantasy operators DraftKings and FanDuel. Brian Ortega has the story.
Daily fantasy sports continues to take fire, and we're told 2 days ago from the New York State Attorney's Office to stop taking entries from their New York residents. The New York Attorney General, Eric Schneiderman, found that daily fantasy sports are not games of skill, but rather games of chance. Schneiderman is following the Nevada Gaming Control Board's lead in banning the unregulated sports sites. And since it is viewed as gambling, it must be regulated like other games, like blackjack and roulette. We tried contacting local sports books for a statement on the matter, but all declined to comment. Even though the Attorney General told the sites to stop taking entries, it doesn't require immediate action by DraftKings or FanDuel or other fantasy sites. And both sites will be holding contests this weekend. DraftKings responded in a statement, "We strongly disagree with the reasoning in his opinion and will examine and vigorously pursue all legal options available to ensure our over 500,000 customers in New York State can continue to play the fantasy sports games they love. New York is an important state because FanDuel is headquartered there, and New York also has the most daily fantasy participants of any other state. 5 states prohibit fantasy sports for money, and more could follow. For Studio G, I'm Brian Ortega.
Daily fantasy sports is a multi-billion dollar industry, and if they go to court and fail to convince the jury that their game is a game of skill and not chance, they could find themselves losing business in other states as well. Well, when we return, we talk to student athletes about how they balance homework and work on the field. Stay tuned.
The inability to breathe, snot pouring out of your nose, it's a real hairy business. As a firefighter, I'm a student of the weather, and I've noticed that there's a change that's occurred in the last several years. We're having many more large and damaging fires. Sometimes thousands of fires will occur. If the climate changes and we don't have the water we need, California could dry up and blow away.
I really enjoy doing my show. I love all types of rock, and that's why I'm doing Rock Through the Decades. We play the 50s all the way to today's rock music or rock bands. I want them to get the appreciation of how much rock has changed over the years and how it's still really great. You can never kill rock. I mean, rock is like the way to be, the way to go. The name of my show is Rock Through the Decades, and I am Rockin' Gemini. You can listen to this on the Rebel HD2 network.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the RebelHD2.com.
Studio G reporter Sarah Shelton dove into students' opinions on cancer and whether or not they would want to know if they have it.
Hi, I'm out here at UNLV to discuss and see how students feel about if they could find out if they have cancer or a disease at an early age. Would they, or would they rather live life without knowing? I'm here with Yuri. How do you feel, Yuri?
Regarding that topic, really, if I could just live my whole life without knowing, and I had no chance of really dying and I wouldn't pass away, then yeah, I wouldn't really want to find out because, you know, that build up stress and even more stress. So if I know I'm not gonna die, then I'd rather just not find out.
If given the chance, most students say they would want to know.
Like, according to my future and everything, I would definitely want to know at the earliest ages, I believe, just so that I can think about everything and all the options and different choices that I have, not just for myself, but my family and my friends and any future family that I have.
I think it honestly wouldn't hurt at all, and it certainly would help to get a screening, an early screening, something like that.
I'd rather know I have cancer so I can get treatment.
Absolutely.
For some students, they would rather not know.
I mean, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't think I have cancer, so it's like...
I would not want to know that I have cancer for the main reason it doesn't do anything for you. If you had a little bit of cancer and they want to take it out of you, and they kill all of these live cells, they're called stem cells, obviously. We wouldn't be alive without them. Why would you kill the live stem cell when we need it so badly? Plus, you're going through chemotherapy, which is extremely painful. I would treat it holistically and move on with life.
I sat down with the executive director for a nonprofit whose main mission is to give low-income families free screenings.
Hi, I'm Glenn Alex, Executive Director of G Alex Foundation, and what we do is provide screenings for adults at high risk for prostate cancer, kidney disease, hypertension, and diabetes, and these adults are typically low income, underinsured, and underserved.
She feels early detection is very important. For Studio G, I'm Sarah Shelton.
To find out more on how you can get tested or screened for early signs of detection, visit theglenalexfoundation.org.
Between practicing almost every day and traveling for games or meets, many UNLV student athletes find time for both schoolwork and sports.
To be strong on the track, but also strong in the classroom.
75. Getting into a routine and using time management skills is an essential key to being successful in sport and in the classroom.
I feel like we practice so much. It's what we do all the time. We race every weekend, so it's like a routine.
Being able to balance both give the phrase student athletes its name. Alumni Carrie Hobson ran track during her time at UNLV, which benefited her in the long run.
People can't believe I'm 48, and it's because of running track. You staying in shape, you get great education.
According to the Concordian, student athletes use away games as a chance to take advantage of free time spent traveling to study and do their schoolwork.
I guess it's never too late to join Facebook. This past Monday, President Obama debuted his very own page on the social media site. His first post is a 2-minute video showing the president walking through his White House backyard. In it, he urges Americans to protect the planet for future generations. His climate change message implores viewers to preserve this beautiful planet of ours. Obama says now's the time to join Facebook, with nearly 3 in 4 adults active on it. Aside from the official White House page, there is another Barack Obama Facebook account. It is run by his Community Action Advocacy Group. The president has been more active on social media nearing the end of the second term. He joined Twitter in May.
Christmas season is officially upon us here in the Valley, and Ethel M Chocolate Factory may have just kicked it off.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ethel M Chocolate Factory and Cactus Garden held their annual Botanical Cactus Garden lighting event Tuesday night. The event featured performances by Jabberwockies and Human Nature, with an appearance by the mayor of Henderson, Andy Hafen.
Three Square is very honored and grateful to be the benefiting charity for this wonderful community tradition. As you probably know, Three Square is the food bank for Southern Nevada, and this year we will distribute 40 million pounds of food to hundreds of charities throughout Southern Nevada that are feeding our hungry neighbors. 1 out of 6 are food insecure in our community.
You know, it's my favorite time of year, hands down, and it always begins with the Ethel M Botanical Cactus Garden lighting. 22 years, Oren. That is awesome for our city.
The event is celebrating its 21st year of existence this year, and more than 500,000 light bulbs were used to create the display. If you are worried about missing the opportunity to see the lights, there's no need to fray. The display will be open from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. until January 1st of next year, so there's plenty of time to catch a glimpse. From Studio G, I'm Kyle Root. It's never too early to start the Christmas season, that's for sure. And it's for a good cause too, so.
I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday.
I absolutely love everything Christmas. You know, I have the Christmas sweaters. If I have Christmas shoes, I'd probably get those.
The candles.
The
smell.
candles, yeah, gingerbread candles are probably some of my favorite candles out there. It's just a great time of year. You got family, you have you know, good times, and you know it's a good time to bring everyone close together and just kind of forget the troubles of the world.
Yeah, it looks really pretty too, with all the lights and all the different things. And the mayor was super excited.
Yeah,
so it's great.
It was a little cold, but other than that, you know, it was a pretty cool little night.
Yeah, I think the cold is the only bad thing about Christmas time.
Absolutely, it's worth getting over though. That's all we have for you on this Thursday edition of Studio G. I'm Kyle Root.
And I'm Jordan Lorenzo. Tune in tomorrow for a new twist on our Friday magazine show. Have a great day, Rebels.